Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Out of the Darkness experience. This is the first of our Out of the Darkness experiences for 2020, since we weren't able to hold our typical walks. I'm Angela Cummings, and I am the Associate Area Director for the Illinois chapter, and I'm here to welcome you today as participants of our West Central Illinois experience, our Kankakee County experience, and our Vandalia experience. Just a note about our Out of the Darkness community walks. The core of the Out of the Darkness walks, the community walks, created a movement held in hundreds of cities across the country that give people the courage to open up about their own struggle or loss and the platform to change our culture's approach to mental health. While this year's events may look a little different, our mission to save lives and bring hope to those affected by suicide has not changed. We are a strong and resilient community, united in our effort to fight suicide, raise awareness, educate our communities, advocate for better public policies, support those who have lost loved ones, and support those with lived experience. We use our voices and share our stories to provide hope. And as we know, hope will not be canceled. Our mission, as you may know, is to save lives and bring hope to those affected by suicide. And you're a part of that mission with us by being here today and by participating in all of our events. Suicide is a health issue, just like any other health issue. And suicide can be prevented. And you know that. That's why you're participating with us today. Together, we can create a culture that's smart about mental health and suicide prevention. And by being here, we are together to fight suicide. And to say thank you, first of all, to all of you for being here, I wanted to point out a couple of shining stars. So first off, I'd like to say thank you to our Vandalia top fundraisers and top teams. And here we have them. Our top fundraisers for Vandalia: Jody Reynolds, Katrina Wallerman, Christina Fegg, Scott Wallerman, Elizabeth Forson. And our top teams for the Vandalia experience: Taylor Squad, Walk for Tammy Gale, Walk for Dathan, Team Weed, and Jesse's Crew. Of course, we couldn't do any of this without our wonderful sponsors as well, and I'd like to start with a shout out to our Kankakee County sponsors: the Princess Cafe, Riverside Behavioral Medicine, Kankakee Community College, Gracie Pie Apothecary, of course, our wonderful radio stations giving us lots of PSAs and public awareness, the Helen Wheeler Center, a brand new sponsor, this trucking company that you see on the bottom here, and Bourbonnais Terrace, of course. And our top fundraisers and top teams for Kankakee County: Lisa Samuels, Becca Sylvia, Candace Harmon, Kate Main, and Katie Wirtz. Top teams for Kankakee: Rainbow for Caitlin, Aaron's Automotive Crew, Gavin's Gang and Laner's Legion, Carry On for Cass, and Nikita's Voice. Now on to our West Central Illinois, otherwise known as Galesburg sponsors. Always lots of great sponsors from this community: FM 95, Bridgeway, Tompkins State Bank, P&P Press, OSF Healthcare, Bates Collision Center, Mike Miller, G&M Distributors, the Walmart grant we received, and of course our local AFSCME union, Council 31. Thank you. And now our West Central Illinois top fundraisers and top teams. We have Team Johnny, Kathy Ruff, Pamela Liebarger, Tara Ruff, Leslie Johnston. And the top teams coming in at Miles for Matt, OSF Healthcare, Break the Silence, Barron's, and of course, Galesburg, Knox County 911. Thank you all.
Put out our top fundraisers. We couldn't do it without any of you. But having said that, the people we really couldn't do it without are our fabulous walk cheers. And I'm going to ask them to go ahead and come on screen now, if they wouldn't mind, so that we can have a little bit of an introduction to our walk chairs. And they also have invited some very special speakers from their own communities that have a unique perspective or a story to share that they would like to share with you today as we all come together virtually. So having said that, I think I'm going to immediately kick it off where I left it off with the West Central Illinois Galesburg gang. And I'm going to pass it right now to our fabulous walk chairs there, Tina and Chaz, if you guys want to take it away.
Hi guys. Hello. Thanks for joining us today. This is definitely different than what we're used to. We celebrate our 10th year in West Central Illinois this year, and we want you to know that you are not alone and we're still here. I am Chastity Smith.
I'm Tina Benedict.
And we started this journey because Tina had a loss.
Yes, I lost my husband back in 2004. And it took me until 2009 to finally go to a walk in Springfield. And then from there, we decided that we needed that in our community. So we started ours here in 2010.
And it has grown every year, which is bittersweet, but it's also nice to see that the community is finally talking about mental health and the stigmas are not as strong as they once were. And that's been our goal all along. So today we have with us a wonderful lady that we absolutely love, and she's going to share her story. Her name is Jory, sorry. I was thinking of Jerry Duncan that I just talked to today, sorry. This is Jory, and I'm going to let her tell her story. We're going to slide out of frame. Come on, you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jory Podrasky, and
We're right here.
I lost my son Cody to suicide November 7th, 2018. So I attended my first walk last year with Chastity and Tina, and I also attended a walk down in Champaign where my son attended college as well. So I wear a white strand of beads in honor of my son, but also I wear other strands of beads, you know, in honor of, you know, close friends. One thing I've really realized, you know, over Facebook, I have hundreds and hundreds of friends on Facebook and never really realized how many people on my Facebook have actually lost someone to suicide. It really breaks my heart to see that. I have to say, you know, losing Cody is probably one of the most unimaginable pain that I have ever gone through. I feel like, you know, I've lost a big part of my heart, and it will never be the same again. I do have another son who is 20, and I have to say that, you know, after losing Cody, it really questioned me as far as a mother. You know, where did I go wrong? You know, all the coulda, shoulda, wouldas that will never be answered. You know, it took me a long time to smile again. When I did smile, I felt guilty of smiling. But, you know, as time goes on, it's been about 1.5 years. So as time goes on, I can say that I've gotten really good about, you know, hiding my pain and my sadness. I think that, you know, I think that had it not been for my son Hayden, I don't really know where I would be today, because it's because of him that I woke up one day and I just had an epiphany, and I said, I'm going to be happy. You know, my son Cody would want me to be happy. You know, it's okay to be happy. For almost 1.5 years, I felt guilty, you know, to be that. And, you know, I figured, you know, if Cody died, I should be sad really for the rest of my life. But today is, you know, it's a new day. Every day is a new day, and every day is the first day to choose to be happy all over again. Every morning I wake up, And I'm reminded of the hell that I've lived for the last year and a half. You know, I tend to, the way suicide has affected me today is I tend to turn away negativity. I don't get mixed up into all the negative comments and all that brings me down, because I have to remain positive each and every day, because I do have another son, you know, to continue to raise. My life has been a whirlwind of emotions. Some days, you know, life is great. Other days it just sucks. But at the end, every day is just another day. The void Cody left behind is one that I don't think he could ever have fathomed, that he has touched the people that he's truly touched, and the people that continue to reach out to me on a daily basis. So I had like pages of writing for things written down, and I don't even know what to say anymore. But I really think that, you know, young kids these days, I think that they have to understand that there are areas to go to when they have troubles. The suicides that I hear and the people who have died by suicide, the most recent ones are young kids, whether it be a breakup with a girlfriend or a boyfriend. You know, I think that they feel that that is their way out, and that's not their way out. You know, there's help out there. You know, one thing for me is I seem to have, where I think I'm feeling as a parent, especially to my other son, is I seem to smother him a lot. You know, he gets sad over something, and my mind immediately goes to, oh my gosh, what is he going to do the same thing that Cody did? And I have to kind of retrain my brain to know that, he's not my other son, and, he has a full life to lead. So I don't know.
I think that's great. I think that's great, Joy. Thank you for sharing that story. I'm sure a lot of people can empathize with those feelings. So that was great. And thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, having listened to Jory tell her personal story, I'm going to pass it over now to our Vandalia walk chair, Christina. And Christina has been doing the Vandalia walk now for several years now. And it's been growing and growing under her care. So that's really wonderful. And Christina also has a very special ritual that they do at the Vandalia walk every year that you guys weren't able to do it this year. So hopefully she can bring a little part of that very special ritual into some of the remarks that she's going to give to you guys right now. So I'll pass it on to Christina at this point.
Hello. Like everyone else, I'm going to miss seeing you all in person and hugs and that sort of thing. But I would like to thank you for joining us in this 2020 experience for the Vandalia Walk. Many of you know it's been 10 years since I lost my sister. I have participated in the walk for 10 years and been chair for about, I think this will be my 4th year. So I do, I support, participate in the walks every year to raise awareness. And I do want to thank everyone for their support throughout the years, for participating, for volunteering, because without your support, we wouldn't be able to bring suicide out of the darkness. So it is because of each and every person that participates. So now I would like to read the Native American Rock and Feather poem. This is something that started before I was chair. Everyone seems to really enjoy this. So at your own convenience or your own time, you need one rock and one feather, and I'll go ahead and read that now. The Native American rock and feather ceremony is an ancient ritual of healing and hope. The rock and feather are used to represent both the pains in the past and the hope of the future. Native American legend tells us that feathers, most notable eagle feathers, are a classic symbol of bravery. For you today, the feathers represent strength and hope. Please choose a feather, hold it in your hand, and focus on the future and your strength. Persistence, endurance, perseverance, and life. Now place the feather in the water, offering it up to the water. As the feather floats, enjoy the peace in knowing that your spirit, fragile as a feather, is strong enough to carry you onward. The rock. Traditionally, Native American Indians use the rock to represent weight and burden. For you today, the rock represents what you want to release out of your life. Please choose a rock, hold it in your hand, focus on feelings or memories that burden you and make your spirit heavy. Anger, fear, guilt, and sadness. Now place the rock into the water and give your burden up to the water. As the rock sinks away, allow yourself to feel lighter. Leave your fears and sadness behind. And now I would like to introduce a special speaker. She joined us last year at the walk. She is a huge supporter of AFSP and suicide prevention. Cassie Eilers.
Hello, everybody. My name is Cassie Eilers. I was participating, of course, in last year's walk. If you guys were there, I am, the way that I introduce it, I guess, is I should say, like, I wear green beads. My green beads are because of my own personal struggle with suicidal ideation. I was fortunate enough to have a family member or a friend that knew the warning signs and knew that I needed to get help. And so I'm very fortunate that she had that education and she had that knowledge base, because she was able to, she saved my life, you know. I don't know where I would be if I didn't have her. I'm somebody that actually took my negative, negative situation and I've turned it into something brighter. And I take part in the walk. I give presentations on mental health awareness. I've actually went back to school. I'm 3 months away from having my master's degree, so I can be a counselor. So it's a big step. It's a lot that's gone on, but I've been able to use that negative situation to make something better out of my life and to help other people. And so I'm so grateful and so appreciative of each and every one of you guys that wants to still be involved. Even if our walk is different, we are still making a difference. We are still making an impact, and we will, and now more than ever do we need that to be going on in our lives. So I wanted to say thank you, and just to let you know that, you may not see the changes that are happening, but every moment that we are doing something to bring awareness and to raise money, we are helping someone. You may not see them directly, but you may have had that influence on them because of something that you did for the situation. So I really do appreciate each and every one of you and what you are accomplishing with all of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Cassie. That was great. And so Cassie was talking about how she wears the green beads, which we'll get into that a little bit more later. But right now I'm going to pass it on to our Kankakee walk chair, and we'll let Anne say a few words, and then she has a special guest that is also going to talk to us and share her personal story as well. So I will now pass it over to Anne from Kankakee.
Thank you, Angela. Hi, everyone. I wish I was seeing you all in person, and hopefully I will see some of you today in person. This is our 7th walk. Last year we had our wonderful thunderstorms, but you all did great, and we met our $60,000 goal. So that was awesome. You guys were rock stars. This year our community has really, we've really struggled. We've had a lot of suicides in our community, but I want you to know hope is still there. We are still working together through different boards, and we're working not only singly but together. There's no longer those silos in our community. We're working together to help everyone. Even with the pandemic, we're still virtually teaching mental health first aid, More Than Sad, and Talk Saves Lives. So we want you to know we're there for you. We're only a text message, phone call, email away. And at this time, I'm going to introduce Julie, and she's going to talk. Are you ready, Julie?
Hello, I'm here. Hi, everybody. My name is Julie Rushbrook, and I lost my son, Quentin, so I wear white honor beads for him. I need a breath. I lost him May 30th of 2017. He is forever 22. I also wear silver honor beads for him because he was a first responder. He was a paramedic and a firefighter. Love and miss you, son. Take it in, please.
Thank you, Julie. I'm sure a lot of parents out there can really empathize with the way that you feel. And I want to thank you for sharing your story with us today. I know it's touching a lot of people who are probably watching right now. So I appreciate the courage that you have shown by coming and talking to us today. And of course, the service of being a first responder as well. We've got to take care of our first responders. You know, the suicide rates are very high for our first responders. So as you're well aware, it's definitely a big focus that we all need to be working on, and of course, as an organization as well. So having said that, you may notice that everybody referred to some beads that they were wearing or talked about the beads that they wear. And, you know, I wear some beads as well. And I'll just talk a little bit about the beads here. So as we gather together, either in person or here virtually, you know, we remember the reasons that we're here, and we share a symbol to keep our reasons in our sights and in our hearts. And that's what these beads are about. If I may, I'm going to show you just a short clip, if I can, a little film here that I think might give you a little more insight into the beads and what they represent for AFSP and our Out of the Darkness walkers.
I wear orange for the loss of a sibling.
The white is for the loss of our child.
Green is for a personal struggle.
Purple is for losing a relative or friend.
We wear honor beads at the Out of the Darkness walks as a way to pay tribute to a loved one lost, a personal struggle, or a victory. They come in different colors that represent the many ways that we're all connected to the cause of suicide prevention.
Since suicide so often is hidden and kept in the dark, the honor beads are really special because it's your way to be very open about your loss.
Gold is for losing a parent.
Silver represents the loss of a veteran or a first responder.
Red for losing a spouse or partner.
And teal represents having friends or family that struggle.
When I see other people with the same colored beads as me, it gives me hope that there's a future for all of us.
It's fantastic being here with these people who feel how I feel.
I wear orange, teal, and purple beads. I wear green and teal beads.
I wear silver and teal beads.
And we all wear blue beads to show we support the cause.
Find your connection at afsp.org/honorbeads.
So that's that's just a short video that kind of represents, you know, how the beads came to pass and what it can mean for people, especially at events. When we're together virtually like this, it's a little bit harder, but when you're at an event and, you know, you catch sight of that person across the field, across the park, across the trail, and you see that, you know, they're also wearing the white beads, or they're also wearing the purple beads or the teal beads, then you have an instant connection with that person. And as they were saying in that video clip, it makes you, to me, it makes us feel that we're not alone, and that, you know, there are so many other people that understand what we've gone through and what we continue to go through. And so it's really just a nice way to kind of find people who really understand what you're going through and maybe are farther along in the journey. And in a lot of ways I've heard people talk about seeing people wearing, you know, beads and then talking with them and knowing that it's like their 5th year to come to an event, and then feeling that hope that, oh, you know, life does go on, and I can find others who understand what I'm feeling, and just that those shared feelings are so important for healing. So as they said, these honor beads pay tribute to a loved one lost, a personal struggle, or a victory. They come in many colors, representing the diversity of our community's connection to the cause. They represent our dedication, our commitment, and our strength as a community. So we're united in our goal and determined to bring suicide prevention out of the darkness and save lives. And these beads help us to recognize that in each other. So even though we can't be together in person to share a bead ceremony, I'd like to invite everyone watching to participate in this next portion through the chat feature, if you would like, if you feel compelled to do that. I'm going to be showing some slides for each one of the bead colors, and if you see the slide that corresponds with the beads that you wear, you could comment in the chat with the name of the person you're honoring, even if it's yourself, for sure, put your name in there. Or you can also comment with a heart emoji, maybe in the same, either red or even in the same color of the bead that you wear, if you can, you know, quickly find the green bead or whatever. So again, I'm going to share my screen and we will run through the different color beads. And I definitely encourage you to participate through our chat feature if you are able. Okay, so. All right, here we go. This is what it looks like when we're actually together sharing a bead ceremony. Lots of beads, lots of people proudly displaying their beads, of course. Here again are the different connections to the cause, but we'll go through these one at a time so that everybody has a nice chance to put something in the chat, and then we all get to see each other's people that we're honoring. So the first slide I'm showing here are the white beads, and we had a couple speakers today that actually wear the white beads for the loss of a child. So I will say, if you're watching with us virtually right now and you wear the white beads, take a moment to write the name of your lost child, if you wish, or even just to put a heart or any kind of symbol to show that you are part of this group that wear the white beads. And then moving on, gold beads are the loss of a parent. So if you've joined us virtually and you have lost a parent, this is your time to use the chat feature. You can comment with that person's name, or again, feel free to post maybe a yellow heart or another emoji of your choosing, just to signify that you are someone watching right now who would be wearing the gold beads if we were all together. Teal beads, that represents, you wear teal beads if your loved one struggles. I am wearing teal beads. I have a loved one who struggles. So if you also are with us today wearing teal beads, honoring someone that you love and care about that struggles, you can go ahead and comment right now in the chat. Silver beads for the loss of a first responder or military member. So a lot of people wear different color beads, multiple beads at the same time, right? And as we were just talking with Julie, she wears white and silver. Feel free to write the name of your loved one or the person you're honoring in the chat now. And then red beads represent the loss of a spouse or partner. So if you are joining us today and you would be wearing red beads, or you managed to pick up some red beads earlier today, or you have some left over, if red is your color of bead, now is the time that you are welcome to join our chat by typing in the name of the person that you would like to honor and remember. And then purple beads. I wear the purple beads because I lost my grandfather. So loss of a relative or friend. I also lost a good friend as well. So I actually could get 2 purple beads, I suppose. But purple beads for the loss of a relative or friend. This is a pretty broad category. So I imagine a lot of us have names to type in the chat at this point. Orange beads are for the loss of a sibling. If you are joining us in this virtual program today and you have lost a sibling, this is your time to type your sibling's name into the chat, or again, an orange heart or an emoji that you think symbolizes them or your relationship with them. And then green beads for personal struggle. One of the most amazing things I've seen in my time with the Out of the Darkness walks, and this will be my 7th walk season, I believe, is how many more green beads we see at our events. And I find that to be wonderful because we want to also be there not just for lost survivors, but for people who are personally struggling. It's a big umbrella and we all care about the same issue and we want to work together in our mission to save lives, right? So if you wear green beads, thank you for being here. And if you want to write your own name in the chat, that would be great. And of course, we all wear the blue beads. These are the beads that run out every year at every event, no matter how many of them I send to our wonderful walk chairs. They always seem to run out because, of course, we're all wearing the blue beads. We all support the cause. And even if you haven't been personally touched by suicide, you can come to our events and you can put on those blue beads because you understand the importance of mental health awareness and suicide prevention. So I just wanted to let you know that, moving on after this event, you're welcome to join us, of course, at any of our upcoming programs that are completely free. And this is thanks to the fundraising and support that all of our walkers, all of our participants, all of our sponsors and donors provide, allow us to do all of these programs for free, allow us to give you whatever kind of materials you would like for free. So please, upcoming here on September 26th, we do have a Talk Saves Lives. This is free and open to the public. All anybody would need to do is just to copy this URL and go register, and you are welcome to attend from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Plenty of room for everyone. Here are some ways that you can connect with us. If you're watching right now, I'll leave this up for just a second in case you want to take a picture with your phone or do a screenshot, perhaps, if you're watching it on your computer. But of course, if you have any follow-up questions or you need any follow-up materials, you can always find us at illinois@afsp.org. Here are some mental health resources that are specific to the COVID-19 situation that we are still actually in the midst of. So in case any of these resources are useful to you, we've got our AFSP COVID-19 site. There is a mental health resource hub that AFSP has collaborated with PsychHub. And of course, Call for Calm is still available for Illinois residents who are looking for some resources to help them get through. And of course, as always, if you feel like you're in crisis or if you feel that someone you know is in crisis, the Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK, and the text line, you can text TALK to 741-741. And just a word of note here that always seems to surprise people when we do our Talk Saves Lives presentations, you do not have to be the person in crisis to call them. You can call because you have a question about a friend or a loved one. In fact, I've heard people who work the Lifeline say that more than 50% of their calls come from the person who is not directly in crisis. So do not hesitate to call these numbers if you're just concerned. They will talk to you. They will talk you through it. They will help you to decide if further action is taken. Do not hesitate to call. So this will conclude the virtual program for our events today. Thank you again to our wonderful event chairs, sponsors, guest speakers, and most importantly, you for continuing to stay engaged and committed in this fight to end suicide. Thank you all so much for participating, for watching, for hopefully participating in the chat. This video will be, this link will be viewable and will stay up on YouTube for many many weeks, if not months. So if somebody missed it, you can always point them back to this and they can watch it. And thank you again, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our virtual program, and we cannot wait to see you again and hopefully give you a big hug at a real event soon. Thank you, everyone.